2 out of 3 pretty well.
Yep. But either way, on the left side as the red Portuguese, we've got JulianK. On the right side as the blue British with House of the Trading Post Community. In which, how do you think this matchup will go?
This can be a kind of an interesting one because they're both civilizations that heavily rely on getting extra villagers. The British through the manor houses, whereas the Portuguese get it through multiple queues of settlers, starting as early as age 2. So it really depends on what sort of macro they're going for. I think that the Portuguese bonus is a little bit tougher though in the long run as well as in the early game because not only are you getting additional queues of villagers when it's comfortable to do so, but you're also getting a strong defensive bonus, basically, because your ability to have multiple town centers in close proximity can be a really good turtle against a rush, basically.
Yep. After all, though, the definition of the word federita, I think, means fortress. And every single town center is a federita. Or can be.
It definitely can be in that case, and if you don't want to group the town centers up, you can also space them out across the map, and capture different mines and hunts pretty easily, too.
Yep, and I think that's the better option for them. Exert more field control, plus if you get a line of town centers, eventually you can also make your farms much more safer as well.
Oh yeah, and you get this card here, Vitoria's. This was a really good card they designed for Definitive Edition because it just really caps well on the whole Portuguese concept. Every one of those town centers ends up trickling a little bit of each resource. Basically like sumptuary laws, but on a grander scale, really, the more TCs you have.
Yep, and this is what I meant by Federita. I think that's actually the proper pronunciation for that.
Oh, it's Federita?
At least that's what I heard from Spirit of the Law. I'm not sure how familiar with that channel.
Oh, I've seen Spirit of the Law before. I've always called them Fatorias, usually, from the English tongue.
Yep, I think that word translates to fortress, since in colonial days, the Portuguese more interested in setting up trading posts, trading fortresses, rather than trying to conquer land.
Yeah, basically like 16th, 17th century Carthage, pretty much.
Yep. Oh, there goes that just desserts pikeman. And this local dog will go down to a villager to steal his broken wing of Polish Hussar, so that local doggo will not be able to wear that in combat.
Imagine dogs with wings, sounds very OP indeed.
Yep, like a horse with wings. Or pigs with wings. There's a lot of animals throughout history they put wings on, or at least in mythology.
Yeah, when pigs fly, that's definitely true.
And of course, you got the Pegasus as well.
Good old age of mythology with the Pegasus.
I think in a lot of old mythologies, they put wings on everything. You got the Greek Sphinx with wings, a cat with wings, while the Egyptian Sphinx has a human face on it, without wings.
And don't they have an age of mythology too, the Wajeb, which is basically a cobra with wings sticking out of it?
Yep, the Age of Mythology and Retold is actually definitely HD remaster rather than 2, but yep. That may actually be a bit more accurate to the mythology.
Yeah, I know the wings on the Wajets in Retold are definitely way more pronounced than they were in the older renditions. In the older ones, it looked like a bunch of flapping parts sticking out of the side of it in Retold.
They were so small, I actually forgot they even existed. So I was surprised, like, oh, wait, when did these guys get wings? Age of Mythology was my childhood game when I was growing up.
Yeah, but I didn't get to play it till probably, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago or something, 11, 12, and when I picked it up, it was pretty good. Got into it pretty quickly.
Yep, ensemble games tend to do that.
Yep. Definitely with all their titles, not just 3 or AOM, AoE 2, AoE 1 even, though not a lot of people do AoE 1, it's definitely a good title as well.
I would even say Halo Wars as well.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've done that one before.
Originally, it was only on the Xbox 360, but you can get it on Steam now as well for PC.
That's good to know.
It was a console RTS that actually did console RTS well. In fact, Kane's Wrath as well as Red Alert 3 took a lot of UI from the Halo Wars and implemented that in their console RTSs as well.
Very interesting. I remember the few people that have a few copies of Age of Empires 2, Age of Kings they have on PlayStation 2 as well. It's pretty rare.
I know StarCraft 1's on the 64. It did not go well.
I can imagine. It's like I'm just wondering, like, how do people do RTS with like a controller compared to a keyboard and mouse? Like, what's the advantage and disadvantage of that without all the fancy tools you have nowadays regarding, films order and AI order and so forth?
Yep. When it comes to some basic commands, what Halo Wars did was you hold down one of the buttons, it brings up a wheel interface, and then you just simply push the joystick to direction, say, you want to build this unit. So that was the first part of able to access build menus, is what a pretty good innovation was. Because build menus also a bit of a trouble on console as well. Got a stable barracks now upon the field. For the British player, I haven't really been paying attention to the game all too much, talking about other RTSs. Blue does have a proxy barracks here. Of course, got the 2 town centers. Federator has been shipped on in. House there. And there's H3 for the Portuguese. And looks like they may have paused the game for a moment. Bringing some Cazadors.
The Cazadors can be pretty good, indeed. Thing I think they have over the Longbowmen is the fact that they have really good armor values against their range attacks.
Personally, I think the best thing about them is they are more of a food-based unit than a gold-based unit, so they're a bit more musketeer balanced in resources.
Oh yeah, that too. I mean, it especially allows you to macro a certain way because, a big comp that you can do is Musketeer Cazador, and you don't really have to change your macro up much since both units work just about the same way in terms of costing.
Yep. We do have a handful of Shotel Warriors, shock infantry units that does bonus damage light as well. Could be very useful against Longbowmen.
Yep, basically Coyote Runners with a bit of an anti-skirmisher multiplier.
Yep. Trying to stall out the town center. While none of these units have really high siege damage, there's just a lot of them. I think the town center will be built, will not get destroyed, at least not before construction. But we just got a lot of Hussars and Longbow here, and now bring some pikemen for their torches. Dragoons, Halberdiers. Organ guns do cost 300 gold, so you may want to get those. Doesn't have enough gold for it. He's bringing the town militia here.
Pay as well before it goes down.
And both solid out. Got the Cazadors pretty forward. Yeah, Cazadors also have really high range resist. 45.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about before. They have really good armor when they're fighting the Longbowmen.
Yep.
What Pierce.
There's the Halberdiers, but they don't get report by these Longbowmen, but do manage to connect the Hussars.
Dragoons doing pretty okay there. Again, we're the Hussars at least.
Yep.
Might want to try to pick off some of those pikes while he's at it.
Yep, the Longbowmen trying to keep those Dragoons away, let the pikemen do the work. Not a whole lot of health remaining. More longbone being brought up here as well. And I think the town center will go down. Takes out the villager. Blue's just trying to keep the villagers nearby to build more proxy structures. Red is stopping that.
Yes.
Cavalry hit points being shipped on in for the British. I don't think that's actually going to be super useful. After all, Portuguese tend to go heavy in the dragoons as well as costadors. A bit more heavy in longbone is probably generally a good idea. Like dragons going to melee combat. Want them to get better range damage than melee damage. Let's get a handful of hussars out to engage those costadors. Dragoons doing a good job trying to focus them down now. Let's see, have I casted Kaiser vs. Revenant yet? Probably not yet.
I don't think I've done that one yet either.
Yep. I do know my voice is starting to go out, so it's going to be my last replay for today. But he's not bringing the shipment of the organ guns, because who doesn't want to see a pile of organs on the ground?
Yep, indeed.
British player is bringing some more musketeers. He's still age 2. He may want to cool off a little bit and start getting age up.
Yeah, especially with the organ guns coming in, they'll basically shred through his infantry pretty quickly.
Especially longbowmen, rather than musketeers. There's his organ guns.
And then more anti-cav are being added in the form of helps and goons. Actually cancel out the help and just going for dragoon. Probably the better way to go, because that's a little bit more mobile.
Portuguese right now has 35 villagers versus 47, so the British player is maintaining good villager production.
Same.
Now there's a shipment available for the Portuguese. Going for shipment of coin. More musketeers there.
Yes. Ready?
Right now, Blue does have a significant army of longbowmen, musketeers, and hussars, still just keeping pressure on Red, preventing him from leaving his base. These villagers, yep, they're starting to get into the town center now. Five and 8, so the town center's not fully ramped up in damage. Which I suppose is a good thing. That means less villagers are inside. They're still on the field collecting.
Qual é a sua ordem?
Let's see, how many manners does the British player have? There's 17 on the field. They can only get 3 more. Make that 4 more. I suppose you can see here, you destroyed that one, but it's still on 17 out of 20, so yeah, there's a little bit of a time frame where you can't get another manor on the field. Or replacement. From this, there's also the House of Vaza, which could give access to the Royal Arquebus, as well as the Winged Hussars. Corps as well. Which Portuguese could use more housing space at the moment. Though the British may help them out with that by killing off some of these villagers.
Oh, that's a good spot there for those SARs. They're gonna get some good cleanup there. However, Dragoons, being a very mobile unit, will be able to ride across there and basically intercept them away effectively.
In the meantime, he did take out those organ guns. But he's getting hit there. Musketeers pretty force with those outpost organ guns. These musketeers will just charge forward. Pretty good pick there. Those organ guns are the only thing holding back Blue. First player has 60 villagers versus 46. He's still down in age, but that's not been too big of an issue for him.
Big mass there on the British side. I wonder if that's going to be a factor in this. I've seen this sort of thing with Revnak before, where, you know, he sticks out in age 2 longer, gets a big mass, and then he just manages to keep that mass going until he finally gets to age 3, and then once it's best then you see sort of why he set that up, but then it's just an overwhelming mass.
There's another shipment available. Hussars can find those Castadors. Hussars come in, stop the Dragoons from charging.
Just not enough stuff there to deal with that large overwhelming force.
It looks like Red casting GG.